Okay. Hi, everyone. Let's see. Oh, darn it. I meant to grab my water. I'm really thirsty. I'll refill my water, I should say. Okay, so I'm going to have to try to pay attention to the places. Let me know if you're here. And I'm a little bit late because I had to adjust the Zoom meeting because it was telling me it was invalid. So I had to figure that out. Yes, couldn't get in at first because it wasn't scheduled for the Q&A. It was only scheduled for the end of the series. So it wasn't taking into account our Q&A time. So I had to adjust that in the back end. Good thing I know about tech stuff and don't have to rely on someone else to figure that out. So hello, those of you who are joining me on Zoom. And I'm going to try to figure out, I went ahead and I'm streaming in different places on Facebook because something crazy is happening in my group. And only the posts from 2015 are showing up in my group. And so I went ahead and I'm streaming on my private page and on my business page, which means that I have to pay attention to try to watch the comments. In all the places too. The comments. So I'm streaming in like 5 places. So please comment if you have any questions, and I will try to look in all the places. Hi, Sarah. So it's going to be a little tricky, and I'm going to be flipping a little bit back and forth. So please do ask any questions, but thank you in advance for your patience as I navigate the different locations where we are. Okay, so I can see people are in the different places. Welcome to those of you watching me on YouTube. I can see there's people there, but I can't see who you are. So if you have comments or questions, just chime in, please. And I'm going to go to the couple of different places on Facebook. I'm in 3 different places. So let me know if you were on my classes this week. We had a pretty fun, well, I had fun. I hope you guys had fun. I had a lot of fun this week talking about the quantum field, talking about our beliefs and our programming and the different brain states and where most of us are, where a lot of people are in their brain states, the high beta brain state. Most people are in that fight or flight brain state most of the time, in that high beta, and PTSD, especially the last couple of years. And who remembers what that means? Does anybody remember what that means when we're in that high beta state? I wish I couldn't give you guys a quiz. I didn't prepare a quiz, but can I give you guys a quiz? Who remembers what it means when we're in that high beta state? What does that result in? Who remembers what it means when somebody is holding the frequency of joy? How many people are they affecting? Oh, I should have prepared a quiz. What is the doorway to the quantum field? How do we store what do we store as thoughts in the body? How do we store our thoughts in the body? I should have given prizes for who can answer my questions. Awesome, Fran. What does anybody have a takeaway from this week? Morning from sunny coast, Australia. Been a difficult time, slowly coming out of it, and I'm in a better place. Good to hear that. Okay. This is tricky looking in so many different 5 different places. So I'm here to answer questions if anybody has any questions. Any questions about this class all week? Anything that maybe that you experienced? And also, really, what I would love to answer is, do you have any questions about Sacred Soul Alignment, which this course, which is a brand new 6-week Sacred Soul Alignment course that is starting 2 weeks from today, which is really super soon. Wind, love the classes. Thank you, Wind. Trish, how often do we run an alignment until the healing is complete? So that's a really good question. And that's really, there isn't one answer to that question. So it's really unique and individual. So really, once a practitioner, so first of all, you have to be attuned to an alignment to be able to run it. And once a practitioner or a person that's attuned to an alignment runs it, that alignment, the energy of that alignment is actually continuing to run in the energy field until that is complete. And that doesn't mean that the healing will never need to, the person will never benefit from receiving that again. But it's until that healing is complete for that moment. So it may continue running for an hour. It may continue running for a week or a month. So it's really, it's very dependent upon the situation, the time, the individual, and whatever it is that is intended. So most practitioners, most people that are attuned to alignments, we're constantly using them in many different situations. It's sort of in the moment we can, oops, I'm getting a phone call. I need to coming in on my computer. It's like having, my daughter keeps calling me over and over. Let me text her and tell her that she doesn't know that I'm on a call. It's like having whatever is necessary at your fingertips, and they're constantly raising your vibration and making your life better. So say you have anger and resentment coming up, and you're running the anger and resentment alignment, and it's clearing the anger and resentment in the moment, but it's also going deep into your cells, and over time using that alignment. So there will be instances that maybe an instantaneous healing may happen, and some that whatever the situation is may resolve instantaneously in that moment. But more often than not, it's going to unwind over time, peeling away the issue like layers of an onion. That's the way that healing happens most of the time. Yes, there are instantaneous healings. Absolutely. I've experienced it myself. I've witnessed it with clients. But more often than not, healing is a journey that happens. And so more often than not, things will resolve themselves over time. And so that issue, the anger and resentment incrementally over days or weeks, or sometimes even, sometimes it can take years to resolve an issue. Often it doesn't take years, but sometimes it can. And so having those tools, sometimes we'll just continue working with those tools over the length of time. Now, anger is something that I particularly had as an issue many years ago. That's actually how I got into healing. And I intended to talk more about my own personal story through our experience than I did. But I ended up having so much that I wanted to talk about that I didn't weave my personal journey in as much as I planned on. But anger was one of the things that sent me into seeking healing. And I came out of a 20-year abusive marriage, left that marriage very spontaneously in a moment of time under threat of my life with my 3 daughters, and was actually homeless for a period of 9 months with my daughters. Even though I owned a home, I couldn't live there, and we were homeless. And I was very, very consumed by anger at my husband at the time. And I didn't want to be consumed by anger. I didn't want to be an angry mother. And so I started working on anger, and it took me about 9 months to unwind that anger that was consuming me. And at the time, I didn't have the healing tools that I have now. This is one of the reasons why I created the healing tools that I created. At the time, I had a tool. I started with EFT tapping. And I would literally walk around. If somebody had seen, if there had been a camera in my house, people would have thought I was a crazy person. I would walk around my house all day long, talking to myself, tapping on my forehead and my collarbone and all the things, talking to myself about the things I was angry with. And eventually that anger dissipated, so much so that I was able, my husband was, had pancreatic cancer at the time. And I was able to forgive him for 20 years of abuse and infidelity and all kinds of things, and actually honestly forgive him. And he was at the end of his life, and moved back in to our home to take care of him at the end of his life. Genuinely with forgiveness. And it was one of the most healing things that I've ever done in my life, because I was able to resolve that anger and bring in forgiveness. But it took me 9 months. And with the tools that I've created, I could have done it in much shorter time. So that was a much longer answer than I meant to give, but it depends of really, it's very situational. I didn't mean that to go on for a 10-minute answer. What time of the day is the course each week? It's going to be 1:00 Pacific time on Thursdays every week for 6 weeks. That's the live Q&A. So the materials are released, I don't know what time, probably at around 6 or 8 a.m. every week on Thursdays. So you have the entire week to go through the materials. And then we come together live, and the live calls are about an hour and a half long. I do the attunement for that week pretty much right away, so that people that are limited in the time that they have, they can get that attunement. And then we do some healing, and then open it up to the Q&A. And so I just spend as long as it takes. I've had calls go 3 hours, over 3 hours, but it's usually about an hour and a half. But I spend as long as it takes to answer everybody's questions. So that's why I do the attunements up front, so that people that have to, that have a time limit, that they can hop off when they need to. And then those that can't come live, then they can ask their questions, and I compile the questions and answer the ones that come through in the group. I answer those first, so that those who can't come live, they know that they know where to find their questions that they've asked in the recording. Do we muscle test in order to determine what alignments to run for a person? That's a good question. You don't need to know muscle testing to do this class. Although if you do know muscle testing, and you want to muscle test to determine what alignments to run, you absolutely can use that. That's one reason why I teach a pendulum, because that's easier for most people. A lot of people struggle with muscle testing. I am pretty proficient with muscle testing. I've used it for over a decade. But a lot of people don't feel comfortable with it. So I teach a pendulum. I don't use either method for choosing alignments. I use my intuition, but I give a really solid description of the alignments. And I also, this is something I didn't talk about today, but on my Sacred Soul Alignment website, there's a secret section on the website with a database for the students and practitioners, and all you have to do is type in certain keywords. So if you're working with mental health or any issue, I literally have an alignment for anything. You just type in your keywords and it will bring up all of the alignments that either have that word in the description or are tagged with that word. And this is a work in progress. Whenever a practitioner, will tell us, oh, this, I've had success for this issue with this alignment. I've had, I myself have worked on this tagging system extensively. I've had several practitioners helping me work on this tagging system. So it's pretty extensive. So it's not just the description, it's experience known that this alignment works really well with, resolving immune system issues, or this alignment works really well with resolving abuse issues. You can type that in. All students get access to this. So you're not just relying on your intuition or muscle testing or pendulum. It's actually research and knowledge based from the students and from me, that you can actually look that up and see, okay, what alignments can we use for this issue? Yeah, a lot of people have trouble with muscle testing. And yeah, I would rather rely on, I feel like muscle testing and pendulum are for some things. So my best friend, Kimberly Carlson, she teaches energetic allergy healing, and there's thousands of allergens that they're working with. And so they muscle test through what she calls her kits. And in that case, muscle testing is kind of necessary because there's so many things that they're working through. But in general, I feel like muscle testing and pendulum use are for us to hone our intuition, not in place of using our intuition. That's my opinion. Lorna, I love EFT. It's great for trauma. So one thing that works really well for those of you Sacred Soul Alignment practitioners, and I talk about this, when you're working with a client that is coming up against emotional trauma and a lot of emotion, is just tapping on the collarbone point. I like EFT too. Jill says, you do an extraordinary job holding space. Thank you. Oh, good job, Fran. Hi, Beta. Fear. No new info can enter. Yes. Tracy, 750,000. I'm so glad you guys were paying attention. I gave you guys a lot of information, and I know sometimes it's hard to remember all of that, especially when you're going in and out of healing and meditations. Good. Yes. Lorna, I learned how to pendulum use for confirmation. Absolutely. Sometimes when I feel like I'm too close to an issue and I don't have somebody else to kind of confirm something for me, I'll use a pendulum. Okay, let's see. Where am I? Okay, I'm in Sacred Soul Alignment. I'm going to look on YouTube. All right, there's people on with me on YouTube, but I'm not seeing any questions there. And I don't know if I can see the questions. Hopefully I can. Oh, I had some questions that I compiled. Let's see. I hope I got them all. Okay, well, the energy, so regarding the class that we just did, well, the energy we receive help reset us. Absolutely. So on day one, and you guys can go and watch as many times as you want. The classes will stay up in Facebook. So I created a guide. So if something crazy is going on in my group and all my old posts, which is making me feel really couple things that's making me be like, wow, I've really grown a lot over the last 7 years because I'm seeing all my old posts, but also it's making me see like, wow, I'm really consistent because I've been talking about the same stuff for 7 years and I'm authentically who I am. That's kind of cool. I'm still me. Um, so I like that. But it's also weird to see like my first life, caught a glimpse of my first ever live stream. So I don't know why that's happening in my group, but I created a guide at the top of my group. So if you go to the top of the group and look for guides, you'll see all the 3 days are in there. And then on YouTube, if you go to playlist, so look for Alicia Hartzell. And then if you go to playlist, I created a playlist. I've never done that before. For this series. So those will be up for 2 weeks. And so you can go and watch the healing or whatever if you want all the information that I shared. Those will be up until May 12th. And then I'm going to also give, I don't know if I'll put the whole things in, but I'm at least going to give the healing portion. I'm going to put those in the support recordings as a bonus for those who sign up for the class. I always put those as a bonus for the students so that you can keep repeating the healing that we did during the experience. So, but I do recommend repeating those. So on day one, we worked with our beliefs. On day 2, we worked with our emotions, and that was a big release. And then on today, we worked with manifesting, and I was guided to do that really differently than I normally do. And I went deep just playing the bowls and guiding you guys into that space. I would love to hear what ends up happening for you guys because it felt to me really profound. So I can't wait to see what happens. And I'm going to be doing tomorrow I'm going to share in the group. I'm not going to be going live tomorrow. I'm going to share an interview that I did with one of my practitioners and one of my friends, Debbie McAllister. She has a podcast. So tomorrow I'm going to be sending that out in an email and sharing it in the group. And I actually talk a lot about sacred soul alignment. I'm going to share that tomorrow. And then Saturday, I'm going to go, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to do something there's a solar eclipse and a full moon on Saturday. I'm going to do something probably in the morning. I'm going to be probably live every day almost for the next 2 weeks in my Facebook group. So, and I'll probably be also doing that on YouTube as well. So, it's going to be a lot. You guys will have a chance to have a lot of experiences over the next couple of weeks because that's the way that when I get ready to teach sacred soul alignment, I want you guys to be able to feel what this class is like. I don't want to just sit here and like tout the class and sell the class to you. I want you to be able to feel the energy. That's how I decide if something is right for me. I'm not somebody who's going to try to sell something. That's not what I'm about. I want you to come to that yourself. I want you to know if this is right for you, and that's the best way to tell for yourself. So I'm going to be giving you a lot of experiences, and it's also a really good way to do what is my mission in this world and what I believe is important for this world, and that is to raise the vibration of this planet. And so whether or not you ever plan on buying this class or purchasing anything from me, but you want to work on yourself and this is important for you, you can come and do that over the next couple of weeks by coming to these events. And so please do that. Whether or not you're interested in this class, please join me and work on yourself and receive the healing and have fun with us, because it's kind of, I was telling my boyfriend this morning, it's like we're going to have a party for the next couple of weeks. So please come and join me. Any suggestions for me to help me meditate and get in manifesting? Any suggestions would help. So my biggest suggestion for that is consistency. So sometimes it can be hard it was really hard for me when I first started trying to even to ground, even to be in my body, because I was definitely in PTSD, fight or flight, high beta 100% of the time. I just shared that I was in an abusive marriage for 20 years. I was in a PTSD state all the time. And so I couldn't even stay in my body. I couldn't even ground. For those of you who've done grounding practices, you try at first, I don't do it this way anymore, but I would try to picture roots growing out of the bottoms of my feet. And I could not do that. I would try to visualize roots going into the earth, and I couldn't focus my mind to do that for like even 2 inches into the ground. I could not do it. And so what I would say is to just try to breathe into your heart. Just try to focus on your heart and focus on your breath. And that's a good place to start. And maybe go for a walk and just focus on your breathing. So if you're in that place where it's hard to focus your mind, just focus on your breath and just start there. And just start with moving your body. And then maybe start with slowing your mind down a little bit, and start with 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute, and do it consistently. And if we can train our bodies, and Joe Dispenza talks about this, like training a wild animal. If we can train our body, pretty soon it's going to learn, and then we can train our mind, and we can then train our body to settle down. And I talked about today that I can get into that heart and brain coherence, and I can get into that theta brain state and into the quantum field in a split second. And a decade ago, or when I first started, it was 2009, this time that I'm talking about, where I was left an abusive marriage, and this period of time where I was homeless, and the anger and all this that I was just talking about a few minutes ago. This was 2009, so that's 13 years ago. And I couldn't stay in my body. I couldn't even stay in my body. And now I can get into that brain and heart coherence and into the theta brain state in a split second. And it definitely didn't take me 13 years to get to that point. But we can change our bodies and our minds and the cells of our bodies, and we can do it fast, but it takes consistency. So incrementally, just do something every day to just slow yourself down a little bit. And it starts with the heart, and it starts with the breath. So if you can't slow your mind down, slow your breath down. Where I would start. And Anita says, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Thank you for saying that, but I would say that I'm thankful for it. And I can say that with genuine honesty, because I wouldn't be here today doing this work. And I'm thankful. My husband passed away. Actually, he passed away after I moved in. He never actually made it home. I committed to taking care of him, and we moved back into the house and had the hospital bed and all the nurses and I got all the training to take care of him and everything. and he never actually made it back home. And I am thankful to him now, and I'm genuinely thankful for all of that, because it's led me to where I am now and who I am now, and I would not be doing this work if I hadn't gone through all of that. So thank you for saying that, but I can honestly say that I'm thankful for it and to it. How many modules? Okay, let's see. Not sure. Okay, so in level 1, there is 6 modules. So I've been getting a lot of questions about level 2, because that's the certification. And you can sign up for both and get a pretty significant discount. And I shared the bundle link earlier. I can't remember the price off the top of my head, but I think it's about at least $1,000 discount. I'm going to share it here. And you don't have to sign up for the bundle now to be able to sign up for level 2 later, but it is a significant discount. You can come through level 1 now and sign up. Level 2 will be in July. So you can sign up for level 2 before the class starts in July, but it is a discount if you sign up together. Let me just look at it and see. I can tell you how much it is. So the regular price of the regular full price of level 1 is $14.97, but if you sign up before we start May 12th, it's $9.97. The regular price of level 2 is $22.22. And so the bundle is $26.97. So that's level 1 and 2, and that's the full certification. So that's both classes. And I have a 6-month payment plan. 6 payments of $494. Somebody keeps trying to call me. Now, the bundle link, you have to click on the PDFs to see all the details. So it's basically the syllabus. So if you're interested in the full certification and you want to know more, I am more than happy to jump on a call with you. Because there's just so much involved in it. There's business training, there's guest teachers, there's a lot. So that's about $1,000 savings for the bundle price. Okay. And that's 15 modules altogether, plus there's I think 3 live bonus classes. In addition to all the bonus courses, there's 3 live bonus classes. So Lorna, there's 9 in Sacred Soul Element level 2. There's 9 modules. Okay, and I know I'm giving you guys a lot of information, and a lot of the questions I'm getting is about the certification too. So I'm happy to answer questions about those, but if you have questions about that, I'd be happy to just jump on a call with you. So Carla, which alignments help with PTSD? Is this Carla Day that's on asking that question? Because I can give you the cocktail list. Okay. Let me send you the will you send me a Facebook message and I will send you the cocktail list for the mental and emotional health. Soraya, yes, I could jump on with you right after this if you are available. And I think we're probably almost done with this Q&A call. Oh, eclipse, what's happening in 2015 would relate. Interesting. I'm going to have to think about that. So 2015, that's really interesting. I'm going to really have to think about that because that's when I started my business, and my business took off like a rocket. Maybe that's a sign for this new iteration of Sacred Soul Alignment. Maybe it's going to take off like a rocket. I'll accept that. So Bear, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. I would love to schedule a call with you. Could you send me a Facebook message and I will connect with you to set up a call. Or maybe I can message you. Let me see. It's not letting me do it from here. Send me blue. Okay. I love it. For some reason, I'm not able to click on your... Okay, perfect. You're coming through a new portal with the business, it feels like. I'll accept that because for the last 6 months, I feel like I've been completely reconfiguring myself, and I've been really going within and recreating myself from the inside out. And I know that I'm birthing something new with this new way of delivering Sacred Soul Alignment that feels really powerful. But at the same time, it also feels scary because, I don't know if people are going to want it in this new form. And, here I am talking to you guys, and some of you guys don't know me. But this is just how I am. I'm transparent, and that's just who I am. But I know it's going to be amazing this way. And I know in the depth of my being that this is how it's meant to be, and that it's going to be so much more powerful delivering it this way. But it's still scary to have it. It's worked so well, and so many people have wanted it in the format that it's been. It's been amazingly successful so far. And so to change it, and to say, okay, it's not a certification coming in now to level 1. You have to come in and then go on to level 2 to be a certification, is quite frankly scary a little bit. But I know in the depth of my heart that it's going to serve more people in a much better way. And it's going to prepare people so much better. And that's why I'm allowing, even though it's a lot of work to create this new class, and it's a lot of new material, I'm allowing 600 practitioners to come through for free. And I could easily charge all of you guys an admin fee of $100 and make what would that be? Would that be $600,000? I'm going to do the math really quick. No, that would be $60,000, right? All right, that would be $60,000. But I would say that 90% of the practitioners would sign up for that class because you guys know the value. So I could easily make $50,000 by charging an admin fee, and I know that I would, but I'm not doing that because I want you to have this healing and I want you to participate. And I want you to have the value of it. And I know from the depth of my heart that this is how I want to run Sacred Soul Alignment. And so it's a little bit scary to be doing this, but I know this is the right way to do it. And so I'm thankful to hear that, Carla, that you feel like I'm going through a new portal in my business, because quite frankly, it's a little bit scary to change something that has worked so well and to do it a new way. But I'm following my guidance, which is what I've done in the last 7 years, and it hasn't. So that's interesting. So I'm processing this as I'm talking to you guys. That's the message. That's why, and this makes me feel really emotional. That's why. Whew, I might cry right here on this live Q&A with you guys. That's why all these posts are coming up from 2015 in my group, which has been really frustrating to me all day because of my live streams gotten lost and all my, posts I wanted to promote the class and everything's gotten lost. But I'm being reminded that I have followed my heart and my inner guidance for 7 years, and I haven't listened to, the mainstream way of people telling you how you're supposed to run your business. And I'm doing that again. Why change something that's worked so well? And I'm doing that again. And so I'm being reminded that don't be afraid to do that when you know that it's right, even when it's scary. So, whew, okay. Thanks, you guys. Carla says, my light just flickered out. Out with the old, in with the new. Okay, beautiful. Soraya, I hope I'm saying your name right. Business and personal combined. Lots of healing energy coming through right now. I do feel that. I feel hot. Okay. Well, I think this Q&A was for me, and maybe we are complete. Okay, let me just check all the places. And I'm not seeing any other questions. So I guess that's me just being totally raw and real with you guys. Thank you, Kara. If you're drawn here, it's for a reason. This is absolutely the most powerful modality I've ever come across. My sister became a practitioner near the beginning of Alicia's certification, and there aren't words for the path I've traveled since becoming introduced to Sacred Soul Alignment. Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to screenshot that. Okay. I think we're going to end on that note. Thank you so much, you guys. And Kat says the links that you put in are not working for me. Let me try again. There's that. And then I didn't actually put in the link to the program. I think you guys probably might want that. And if the links aren't working for any reason, you can just go to sacredsoulalignment.com and The bundle is sacredsoulalignment.com/spring-2022-bundle. And that's kind of long. You can email hello@aliciahartzell.com and we can send you that. The bundle's not going to be on the, it's a secret link. It's not going to be on the sales page. But you can get that from my team at hello@aliciahartzell.com. Oh, my xylophone. Thank you. My boyfriend actually got that for me for Christmas. Let me see. He got it in Flagstaff, but let me give you the company name. I have it right here. Free Notes. I don't know why I don't know why I left the tag on it. Free Notes. Okay, well, I will be seeing you guys a lot over the next couple of weeks and hopefully over the next 6 weeks and many months and years together. The mental emotional cocktails, some of them are from the advanced class, and Carla, and some of them are from the level 1 class. So a lot of the emotional health series is going to be good for PTSD. Carla, just send me a message on Facebook. And Soraya, I will answer your email. Okay, everyone, have a good night. I will see you soon. Much love and bye for now.